Hey everybody, this is Pekang from the Flashlight subreddits and BLF, answering a couple of questions that I've gotten since posting that I had updated the firmware on my Sofirn Q8 Plus. The process is really not super different from anybody who's familiar with using Hank's flashing tool. There's a couple of things that I'm going to assume you already know and already have. One is the G-Chart flashing key for USB-C to UPDI, version 5. That's the one that comes with the new additional points on the side. I got these rigged for Dupont cables, which is nice because then I can rearrange how each of those three is oriented depending upon the driver, which is why I needed to get one for the Q8 Plus. The standard V3 key that I used to have, the R negative and positive pogo pins don't line up with the ones on the inside of the Q8 Plus. I'll show you that here in a second. So you'll need that. You'll need a USB-C to C cable, and you'll need the Z Flasher app on your phone for the method that I use, which looks like so. You'll have to select the serial UPDI option up here at the top. The MCU for this light and most other Sofirns and Workhos that I've come across is the AT-Tiny 1616. And you'll also need access to the whatever version, obviously the newest one, more than likely, 1203 Anduril 2 for the SP36 T1616 hex file. I'm also assuming that you know how to find that through Toykeeper's GitHub. So let's just go ahead and do this quick and dirty live. I'm not going to be doing any edits or weird stuff like that. Show you how to set it up, flash it, and show you that it does indeed work. So here we can see the three flashing pads on the back of the driver. They do not line up. These are labeled C, V, and R. And from what I have been able to gather, based on a couple of posts that I've found on Reddit, I can't find them anymore, but I know it exists somewhere. That's going to be R plus minus the corresponding pins, which is why it doesn't line up when you just stick the pogo pins on there. So I'll go ahead and get my C to C cable out here. Like I said, quick and dirty, doing this as live as I can. Light comes on, got power. One thing that I did find is, and I had to talk to G-Chart to confirm this, don't use a C to C cable that is too long. Not sure why, maybe the signal just doesn't have enough oomph getting down to the end of the C to C cable. But on this shorter one that I've got, it worked beautifully. As a matter of fact, here, I'll demonstrate that real quick here. So we'll go to my home screen, plug her in, and it opens up the app, which was normal behavior that I had been noticing using either of the other, when I used the V3 key or when I used Hank's flashing tool. Okay, so the color orders that I've got here, I've got a blue is connected to the R, gray connected to the negative, and white connected to the positive, but I have to switch the gray and the white. And so on my inside of the light here, R, V, and G, not C. I've got a switch. As you can kind of see, I've got them crossed over there. I've got to switch the gray and the white. So what I'm going to do, just to make sure that I've got this done correctly, hopefully this is coming across. I know this is really, really hard to see. The lighting sucks, and it's a very tight space. And I'm just doing this, I'm holding it. I'm not using Toykeeper's fork method. I'm just holding the ends of the Dupont cables up against those pads. I always recommend you do a test. Operation has completed successfully. So there we go. So I've already got my hex selected. Everything else is lined up great. Go ahead and hit go. Now it is writing the file to the chip. Please forgive any lack of technical knowledge. That's on me. I'm very much a lay person doing most of this stuff. Now we're verifying that the write worked. Operation completed successfully. We now have the 12/03/2023 hex on the Q8 Plus. With that, we can go ahead and test. The easiest way that I found to test that is just do a battery check, and it now reads out on the button instead of blasting it out the end of the light. Obviously, it's still in simple UI mode, but I'll come through and reprogram all my settings and whatnot. But that's it. That's how you do it. I'm going to go ahead and post a link to this on the subreddit. Anybody that has any questions or concerns, feel free to ask questions. I'll try to respond with as with as much knowledge as I have, which isn't much. But I'll also refer you guys to a G-Chart and the rest of the knowledgeable folks there on the subreddit. One thing that I have found works really, really nicely with the new firmware, aside from the battery check on the button, which is probably my favorite of it. I can set the floor down to level 1, and it's beautifully low. It is so much more usable in a dark bedroom. Not that this is necessarily the first light you think of to keep next to your bed, but hey, it's there if you need it. Yeah, I'm really, really pleased with the soft on, soft start. Like, that's probably my nicest feature in terms of the overall usefulness of this light. With the new firmware on there, and soft steps. Instead of doing just a ramped UI, which I don't have a problem with. I like it a lot, but those soft steps, man, they really feel really, really nice when you're using your flashlight. So anyhow, that's it. Again, this is Eki Pakang from Reddit and BLF and a couple of different places. You'll see my my YouTube videos are listed under the same name. I'm not too hard to get a hold of if you have any questions or need a hand. Take it easy.